My name is Jenny, and until yesterday, I thought I had it all. A loving partner, a beautiful home, and a baby on the way. Dave, my partner of 5 years, was my rock, my best friend, and the father of my soon-to-be-born daughter, Lily. We'd weathered storms, celebrated triumphs, and built a life I genuinely believed was unshakable. Yesterday, that foundation crumbled beneath my feet. It was our baby shower. We'd decided to have a co-ed shower, a relaxed affair with close friends and family. Our living room was transformed into a pastel paradise, balloons bobbing gently in the breeze from the open windows, the air thick with the scent of vanilla cupcakes, and the excited chatter of loved ones. I remember feeling a genuine sense of joy, a warmth that spread through me as I watched Dave mingle with our guests, his face alight with the same anticipation I felt. Dave had been incredibly involved in the pregnancy. He attended every appointment, read countless parenting books, and even assembled the crib himself, humming softly as he tightened each bolt. He was going to be an amazing dad, I just knew it. He'd always been a good man, kind, considerate, and fiercely loyal. Or so I thought. The shower was in full swing. My best friend Sarah was meticulously organizing the gifts, while my mom fussed over the food table, ensuring everyone had enough to eat. Dave was circulating, making sure everyone had a drink, and engaging in easy conversation. He looked so happy, so at ease. Too at ease, maybe. That's what I think about now. The first flicker of doubt was so subtle, so easily dismissed. It was just a feeling, a nagging unease, that I attributed to pregnancy hormones and pre-baby jitters. Then I saw her. She was standing near the doorway, a woman I didn't immediately recognize. She was attractive, with long, dark hair and piercing blue eyes. She wore a simple sundress, but there was an undeniable confidence in her posture, a self-assuredness that drew the eye. I noticed Dave talking to her, his body angled towards her in a way that felt familiar. He was smiling, his hand resting lightly on her arm. I told myself it was nothing, just friendly conversation. But then she laughed, a throaty, intimate sound that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. And Dave's smile widened, his eyes crinkling at the corners in a way I hadn't seen in months. He looked different, like a younger, more carefree version of himself, a version I hadn't seen since before the pregnancy, maybe even before we bought the house. I started walking towards them, intending to introduce myself. But as I got closer, I heard snippets of their conversation. Fragments of words that pierced through the happy atmosphere like shards of glass. I stopped, frozen in place, unable to move, unable to breathe. "Missed you," I heard Dave say, his voice low and husky. "Missed you too," she replied, her voice equally soft. Then, the words that shattered everything. "Can't wait to see you next week," she whispered, her eyes locking with his. There was a loaded pause as they looked at each other, a silent conversation passing between them that excluded me, mocked me, destroyed me. My world tilted, the room started to spin. The happy chatter faded into a dull roar. It felt like I was underwater. Finally, I managed to compose myself enough to return to the party. I plastered a fake smile on my face and tried to act normal, but the weight of my discovery was crushing me. I felt like I was living a lie, pretending everything was okay when my world was crumbling around me. I watched Dave from across the room, observing his every move. He seemed oblivious to my distress, continuing to mingle and chat with our guests as if nothing was wrong. He caught my eye and smiled, a warm, loving smile that now felt like a cruel mockery. I forced myself to smile back, but my heart was screaming. Later, as the shower started to wind down, I found myself alone with Sarah in the kitchen. She was washing dishes, humming softly to herself. I couldn't keep it in any longer. The words came tumbling out, a jumbled mess of accusations and heartbreak. I told her what I'd overheard, what I'd seen. I told her about the woman, the whispered conversation, the look in Dave's eyes. Sarah stopped washing dishes and turned to me, her face etched with concern. She took my hand and squeezed it tight. "Jenny, are you sure?" she asked, her voice gentle. "Maybe you misunderstood." "No, Sarah," I said, my voice trembling. "I didn't misunderstand. I know what I heard. I know what I saw." Tears welled up in my eyes, blurring my vision. Sarah pulled me into a hug, holding me tight as I sobbed uncontrollably. "Oh, Jenny," she whispered, "I'm so sorry." After the shower, after everyone had left, I confronted Dave. He walked in, all smiles, expecting a thank you for helping clean up, oblivious to the bomb I was about to drop. I remember my hands were shaking as I spoke. "Who is she, Dave?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. He frowned, his brow furrowing in confusion. "Who is who? What are you talking about, Jenny?" he asked. His face was the picture of innocence. "The woman at the shower," I said, my voice growing stronger. "The woman you were whispering to. The woman you're seeing behind my back." His face paled. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. He just stared at me, his eyes wide with fear and guilt. "Diane," I said, the name tasting like poison on my tongue. "That's her name, isn't it? Diane." He flinched. "Jenny, Don't," I said, cutting him off. "Don't lie to me. Just tell me the truth. How long has this been going on?" He hesitated for a moment, then his shoulders slumped in defeat. "A few months," he mumbled, his voice barely audible. It just happened. A few months. A few months. He'd been cheating on me for months, while I was carrying his child, while we were building our life together. The betrayal was a physical blow, knocking the wind out of me. "How could you?" I cried, my voice cracking with emotion. "How could you do this to me, to us, to Lily?" He hung his head, shamefaced. "I don't know," he said. "I messed up. I'm so sorry, Jenny. I love you. I love Lily." "Love?" I scoffed. "If you loved us, you wouldn't have done this." "I know," he said. "I was stupid. I was selfish. Please, Jenny, give me another chance. I'll do anything to make it right." I looked at him, really looked at him, and I didn't recognize the man standing before me. The man I thought I knew, the man I thought I loved, was gone. Replaced by a stranger, a liar, a cheat. I couldn't forgive him. Not now. Maybe not ever. "Get out," I said, my voice cold and hard. "Just get out." He looked at me pleadingly, but I didn't waver. "Please, Jenny, get out!" I screamed, my voice filled with rage and pain. "Get out of my house! Get out of my life!" He turned and walked away, his head bowed, his shoulders slumped. I watched him go, my heart breaking into a million pieces. The days that followed were a blur of tears, sleepless nights, and endless replays of that devastating conversation. I felt like I was living in a nightmare, unable to wake up. The pain was all-consuming, a constant ache that never seemed to subside. I barely ate, barely slept. I just existed, going through the motions of daily life, numb and detached. Sarah stayed by my side, offering unwavering support and a shoulder to cry on. My mom came over every day, cooking meals, cleaning the house, and just being there for me. I don't know what I would have done without them. They were my lifeline, my anchors in the storm. Dave called and texted constantly, begging for forgiveness, promising to change, vowing to win me back. I ignored his calls, deleted his texts. I couldn't bear to hear his voice, to read his words. They were just empty promises, hollow apologies. The damage was done, the trust was broken, and I didn't think it could ever be repaired. I started seeing a therapist, trying to process my emotions, trying to make sense of what had happened. She helped me to understand that I wasn't to blame, that Dave's actions were a reflection of his own insecurities and flaws, not mine. She helped me to see that I deserved better, that Lily deserved better. She encouraged me to focus on myself, to prioritize my well-being and the well-being of my baby. As the weeks passed, the pain began to dull, the edges of my grief softening. I started to feel glimmers of hope, sparks of resilience. I realized that I was stronger than I thought, that I could survive this, that I could even thrive. I was going to be a single mom, but I wasn't going to let that define me. I was going to be the best damn single mom Lily could ask for. I started preparing for Lily's arrival, nesting in earnest. I painted the nursery a soft lavender, hung whimsical mobiles, and filled the closet with tiny, adorable clothes. I read parenting books, attended birthing classes, and connected with other expecting mothers. I focused on the future, on the joy and challenges that lay ahead. I also started taking care of myself, both physically and emotionally. I ate healthy meals, exercised regularly, and practiced mindfulness. I spent time with friends and family, rediscovered old hobbies, and even started exploring new ones. I realized that I had a life to live, a future to embrace, regardless of Dave's actions. I knew it wouldn't be easy. Raising a child alone would be challenging, demanding, and sometimes overwhelming. But I was ready. I was determined. I was going to give Lily the best life possible, filled with love, happiness, and opportunity. I was going to show her that even in the face of heartbreak and betrayal, it was possible to rise above, to rebuild, to find strength and joy in the most unexpected places. I haven't spoken to Dave since that day at the baby shower. He's tried to reach out, but I've refused to engage. I'm not ready to forgive him. Maybe someday I will be, but not now. Right now, my focus is on Lily and on healing myself. Sometimes, late at night when the house is quiet and the memories come flooding back, I wonder what could have been. I wonder if we could have made it work, if we could have overcome this betrayal. But then I look at my growing belly, feel Lily's gentle kicks, and I know that I made the right decision. I deserve better. Lily deserves better.